Today I tell you nothing but true lies. The TV pilot surrounding the Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis 1994 film True Lies has been delayed at CBS. I tell you more coming up next. So, this TV pilot based on True Lies, the 1994 movie starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Arnold Schwarzenegger, has been delayed at CBS. Before I tell you more about that, if this is your first time here, let me introduce myself. My name is Leigh Dickey, comedian, actor, producer, reviewer, and a man who will tell you nothing but true lies. Basically, truth coming off an article from The Hollywood Reporter. Please do subscribe to Leigh Dickey TV on YouTube. Visit my official website, leightdickey.com. Follow the fun on social media at LeighTDickey. And please do subscribe to both my podcasts, Yo Nostalgia and the Beats and Speaks podcast. This episode will probably go up on both shows. Please do comment, like, share, subscribe, leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app and player of choice. Now that all the housekeeping is out of the way, let's get into more on why this True Lies TV pilot has been delayed at CBS. First, I want to give you a bit of a background for those of you that may have not seen True Lies. It is honestly one of my favorite films in both Arnold Schwarzenegger's filmography and Jamie Lee Curtis's filmography. It's one of my favorite films of all time. I love this film. There's action, there's comedy, there's a bit of everything for everybody. So Arnold Schwarzenegger stars as an IT consultant who's actually an international super spy. Jamie Lee Curtis plays Arnold Schwarzenegger's character's wife, and she's the housewife who doesn't know that her husband is an international super spy. Just thinks he's, an everyday IT consultant, and calamity ensues, comedy ensues, things go kaboom, and it's an awesome movie. If you haven't seen it, I think it's available on Amazon Prime, or if you can find it on DVD or find it somehow, I would watch it, okay? It's going to make you laugh. It's got a ton of action in it. It's worth a watch, okay? So if you want to go watch True Lies, I suggest that you go watch True Lies. While I tell you a bunch of true lies, or at least a bunch of truths, coming from an article from The Hollywood Reporter, which I will link in the description down below, about this True Lies TV pilot that's in the works and has been delayed at CBS. According to the article, and a little common knowledge here, True Lies is a Fox property. Fox is now owned by Disney, so it's a Disney property, basically. And according to this article, the 20th Television, which used to be known as 20th Century Fox Television, the person in charge of it, like the executive in charge of it, thinks, that True Lies is a bit of an off-brand for Disney, so they just sold the rights to the TV pilot or loaned it somehow. The rights to the TV pilot went from Disney, who owned Fox. They basically went from 20th Television to CBS, in an effort to bring revenue to Disney. And CBS has been working on a pilot. They ordered the pilot in February. The pilot has now been delayed just because it's to give the producers and whoever's involved with it, like the staff involved with this pilot, which has cast nobody yet, more time to develop this True Lies pilot that's based on the movie that stars Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis. Now, it's a good thing. They've moved it to off-cycle, which basically means it's been delayed, it's been pushed back, and CBS is said to be still high on the True Lies pilot. Now, True Lies is one of my favorite films, as I've said earlier. I love the movie. It's one of my favorites in both Jamie Lee Curtis's filmography as well as Arnold Schwarzenegger's. I don't know whether or not it'll work as a TV series. CBS tried that with Rush Hour about 5 years ago, and as much as I enjoyed the TV series, I did enjoy it and thought it should have gotten a full season instead of just like, I mean, even if it was a mid-season, like the Rush Hour TV series that only ran about 13 episodes, which starred John Fu and Justin Hires, who is now Bozer on the MacGyver reboot on CBS. I think that Rush Hour should have gotten a renewal, right? Maybe not a full season. If CBS didn't want to give it a full season, I think they should have given it at least another mid-season, which is like 13 episodes. Okay, it didn't happen, it didn't work. But I enjoyed the Rush Hour TV series. Yeah, it was a buddy cop drama, like it was a comedy drama buddy cop show based on a buddy cop film that ran on CBS. I just didn't work, but oh well, they gave it a shot. When it comes to True Lies, I don't know if you can turn that into a TV series. I mean, I know it's just a pilot, but I'm not sure you can take something like, that's it's such a 90s property, and it's, to take the iconic roles or the roles portrayed by Jamie Lee Curtis and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then they just shoehorn somebody else in there. I don't know if it'll work, to be honest with you. I mean, as I've said in all these videos, I'm at least willing to watch the pilot when it ever comes to air. According to this article, it's supposed to film over the summer. So whenever this pilot airs, I'm willing to at least watch it. But I'm just not sure taking a film like True Lies and adapting it into a TV show will work. Even though you've got Matt Nix, the creator of Burn Notice. You got James Cameron, who wrote and directed the original film from 1994, attached to executive produce, as well as McG, who's attached to executive produce as well. I don't know. I mean, yes, they are heavy hitters, heavy forces in the entertainment, film, and TV industry out in Los Angeles and the Hollywood area, but I'm not sure, this whole let's take a 90-minute to 2-hour film and adapt it into a weekly TV show, even though this is just a pilot. I'm not sure this works, even though like you've got heavy hitters and you've got a network behind you, like CBS is one of the top networks in the US, probably even all over the world. I don't know if it'll work, okay? But as I keep saying, I'm willing to at least watch this pilot, because I do like True Lies. It is one of my favorite films from the 90s, and it's one of my favorite films in both Schwarzenegger's and Jamie Lee Curtis's filmographies. So I'm at least willing to watch it. I mean, nobody's been cast yet. However, like, the goal is to shoot this film over the summer, but apparently they need more time to develop it. So CBS has moved it to off-cycle, which basically means they're delaying it and they're pushing it back. So when this pilot will air, I don't know. I will link this article in the description in the show notes down below. To be honest, what do you guys think? Have you seen True Lies? Let me know. Did you like the film? Do you think this True Lies adaptation TV pilot, perhaps into a weekly series, will work? Let me know your opinions. Post them in the comments below. But that's all I got to tell you. Like, this TV pilot for an adaptation of True Lies has been delayed at CBS. Do I want it to work? Of course I do. I want any new show, even though it's based on an old property, I want any new show that's on any network to work. I am a fan of TV. I'm a fan of True Lies. But I don't know whether taking an old property and then trying to turn it into a weekly TV show works anymore. I mean, there's a ton of reboots that are going on right now, like, Magnum PI, MacGyver, you had Hawaii Five-0, and the list goes on and on and on. Knight Rider from, 2008, 2009. There have been so many reboots. The Equalizer, which has been renewed by CBS. which was a popular TV show in the 80s and has had 2 successful films starring Denzel Washington. I Reboots are all the rage these days, and even this article calls True Lies a reboot. To my knowledge, a television series surrounding this film that starred Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis has never, turned into or materialized into a weekly TV show. Now, it's been in development for several years. Fox tried to develop it, but they gave the rights to CBS, and CBS ordered the pilot in February. And it's now been delayed, and who knows what's going to happen. It may never end up airing, even though CBS is high on the project and it's high on the pilot. It may come to fruition, and it may become a television series. Like, who knows? This is a complete up in the air sort of hypothetical at this point, and it's up to CBS as to whether or not they want to A, move forward with it, B, cast it, and C, air it. To be honest, I mean, like I've said through all these television videos and some of the trailer reviews that I've done, I'm at least willing to watch the pilot. So if this pilot ever comes to air and it ever comes to fruition, I want to watch this pilot just to see what it looks like. I know I don't work for CBS or any of the major networks down south in the US, but if somebody wants to throw a pilot in my direction, I will at least watch it to see or not whether or not I like it and whether or not I think it would work, because I do have a television production background. I have a radio production background as well, having worked in both industries. And True Lies is one of my favorite films, and I'm at least willing to give this pilot a shot. I'm willing to give any pilot a shot. I'll watch something at least once, and then I'll give you my honest opinion on it. But as I've said earlier, I don't know whether or not taking a movie from 1994 that starred 2 heavy hitters of Hollywood, Jamie Lee Curtis and Arnold Schwarzenegger, have them in a film like True Lies, and then just turn it into a weekly television show. I don't know if it works. Okay, CBS has tried to do it before with Rush Hour with John Fu and Justin Hires. Even though I liked it, and it got 13 episodes, even though it was canceled, I think that should have been renewed. But then again, that's my brand of comedy. That's what I like. They did something with that show that I enjoyed, back in 2016 when it actually was on the air. I can't say the same for True Lies, even though I've never seen the pilot, and there's no word on how it's going to be cast, who's in it, and what CBS plans to do with it, even though they're still high on the project and want to film it this summer. But there it is. CBS has delayed the True Lies TV pilot. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Follow the fun on social media at Leigh Dickey on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Visit my official website, leightdickey.com. Subscribe here to Leigh Dickey TV on YouTube. Subscribe to both my podcasts, the Beats and Speaks podcast and Yo Nostalgia. This will probably be an episode on both shows. Please do leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and your favorite podcast app and player of choice. Pardon that little pause there. But this wraps up another episode on Leigh Dickey TV. If you would, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Please take care. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you all in the next one. All right, I'm Leigh Dickey, and I am signing off. Peace.